The other day I was thinking about, man, if money was of no consequence, if I didn't have to worry about bills getting paid, what would I do in my life? Like, what would I do, And it was fascinating because I did this scenario in my mind and I realized I would still do this. Hey everyone, it is me, Hallease, endeavoring to persevere. As always, if you're new here, I make videos about my chaotic good life. Subscribe, follow, social media. I'm back with another Pop and Parlay. Welcome. For those of y'all who don't know, this is a series that I'm kind of starting on the channel where I just separate and pop my locks and then also talk about something else that's going on. Something new that I'm actually trying, and I'll probably hint at this in the title, is that I'm actually trying out Amla Oil, trying something new because the dandruff chronicles with me is real. As y'all know, I use Head & Shoulders for my locks, and I'm always interested. Every couple years, I'll be like, you know what, let me just try a natural remedy and see how it goes. So this time I'm trying Amla Oil. I've actually been incorporating Amla Oil into my skincare regimen for the past couple months, and I got this jar big, and so I was like, let me just try and use this on my hair, on my scalp, and see what happens. And so far so good, actually. I've been using it for probably about 3 weeks so far, almost a month, and I use it every time after I wash my lock, and I put it directly on my scalp as a treatment, and I don't wash it out the next day or anything like that. The Ayurvedic folks be saying, okay, that it's supposed to help with dandruff, eczema, any kind of scalp situation you might have is supposed to be a natural remedy to help with that. So I'll be like the beauty gurus. Beauty guru, hit you with the beauty guru styles. Ooh, 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 ooh. This one comes with a little dropper, which is cute. I try to be like artsy fartsy with it and put it directly on my scalp like that. I always, for some reason, whenever I'm using any kind of treatment on my scalp, I always start in the center, work it in, thusly. If you see me looking over here, it's so I can see myself, it's the monitor. As I'm doing my Amla Oil treatment, let's talk about stuff. I've put it on both hands now and I'm working it on each side. So the last time I did one of these, I was talking about how I want to grow this year on YouTube and try to hit 100,000 subscribers. I kind of don't really know why I picked that. It's kind of arbitrary, not gonna lie, the number. I just purposely picked a ridiculous number, so I try. That's the big thing. But something else I didn't kind of talk to y'all about was that I am actually defining this time that I'm in right now as a sabbatical. And I'm defining it as a sabbatical because, as y'all know, I am a full-time video producer. I own a production company. And so what we usually do is things like the show, Say It Loud, things like we help brands tell their story. So say it's a new company and they need to talk about how they're founded and create a video around that, or also just talk about the services that they provide and make a video around that. That's what we do. That's kind of like the bread and butter. That's actually how I make the bulk of my salary is by doing that. And if you're interested to see how much I make or how much I pay myself, I made a video about that last month. I'll link to it in the Eye of Sauron. But that's what I do. Towards the end of last year though, I decided that I wanted to try to take a sabbatical, and not a sabbatical in the sense of I'm never working and doing that again, but a sabbatical in the sense of I wanted to create a space for myself to focus on this and focus on YouTube. What I do is so much geared towards working with other, companies, entities. I am relatively consistent on here, but not as much, Towards the end of last year, as y'all know, I worked on the show and Stumblewell produced Say It Loud. And from that, I was able to build myself about a 6-month landing strip of pay. And for me, that ended up being about $14,000 that I kept in the business. Again, if you want to know how I break down how I pay for the business, how I pay myself, check out that video. I put it out last month. But I did that with the intention of, for the next 6 months, starting in January, going to May, come what may, in May, so I could focus on this. You know, I ended up having a lot of conversations with Mr. Hallease about it. You know, I am married, so I can't just be doing this, right? That's the thing about being married. You end up having a partner that can help you a lot with things, and you can both kind of figure out how one of you reaching your goals could really help the other, and so on and so forth. So we had a lot of conversations, and some of them ended up in Stumblewell podcast episodes. I think Finding the Silver Lining was one of them, where I was trying, that was when I first started realizing I wanted to do this, and I was trying to articulate that to Mr. Hallease, and he was like, does not comprehend. It's a really interesting, that was a really interesting Stumblewell, because so many of y'all in the comments were like, I'm Hallease, or I'm Mr. Hallease, I don't get it. What is she trying to do? You know what I'm saying? It was really interesting. That's what I'm doing right now. I am sabbatical-ling. Now, traditionally, what a sabbatical is when, and it's usually academically done, it's when like a professor is working for a university or something like that, and the university agrees to keep paying that professor so they can do something else for 3 months, 6 months, whatever, and not necessarily have to worry about teaching and all that kind of stuff. Maybe it's so the professor can write another book about what their profession is, or maybe it's so the professor is an archaeologist and they can go on a dig and something like that, and then bring that back into the university. So it's basically like an entity investing back into itself so someone can like pivot. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I really enjoy doing this. Like, it brings me joy to make a video. Yes, sometimes the videos are work or whatever, but on the whole, day to day, I really enjoy this. I really enjoy interacting with y'all. I really like filming. I really love that I'm self-sufficient in how I can film myself. And I really love the community aspect of this. And I have to say, it's been really interesting doing the first month of this, what I'm calling sabbatical-ling. I've turned it into a verb. It's been really interesting because January, I did really well here. So like I said, what I usually do when I'm parting my locks, or when I'm separating and popping my locks, is I like to do a center part, find my center part, which is kind of whatever. And I can already feel the pops happening. Hopefully you can maybe hear them. And then I just kind of start separating. You know, I like setting up my camera. I like setting up the lights. I like thinking up ideas for videos. One thing I'm struggling with right now is January, my videos did really well, like really well. It kind of freaked me out. I was like, whoa. But in February, we're kind of hanging back. It's a give and take, you know what I'm saying? Modest growth in February. And I'm kind of like, I was kind of letting it get to me a little bit. I really had to check myself, you know, with just like, Hallease, don't be defining yourself by views though, girl. Don't define yourself by this arbitrary algorithmic metric, you know, like, are you happy with the videos? Are the people who are watching them happy with them? Do you feel like you're enjoying the sabbatical time, right? Yes, then who cares who watches it, you know? Like, yeah, you want to grow, but you know, not at the cost of your self-esteem, or not at the cost of your, I guess self-esteem, yeah. Like, you can't put your worth in views. And so, come what may, and I keep saying come what may because, again, my sabbatical time officially can last until May before I need to find clients, have cash flow coming in, because that's the big thing. You need cash flow to keep things running, right? So, come what may, we'll see where we're at here, you know what I'm saying? We'll be better than where we were in January, that's for sure. And that's kind of where I'm at. Okay, so I've popped everything. Feels good. It's actually been a while. Some of them were, it's actually kind of hard for me, so like, ooh, right here. This, I don't know if y'all will be able to see that. See that? Right there. What's difficult for me now when I'm popping and separating is that I have let a lot of locks combine, mostly because I realize I kind of want all my locks to end up being at least a pencil width thick or more, just because I can tell my hair will do better with that. So, you know, this one, for example, it's 3 I'm letting combine, you know, and now this will end up being about a pencil width thick lock, and that's good. I feel like my hair will do better at this thickness because it can really intertwine really well on itself and create a nice strong shaft, and the hair can kind of grow into the lock really well, and it'll just kind of protect itself. And I'm still debating on what I want to do with my front. Y'all, my front has taught me so much patience. My front constantly teaches me patience. Look at that. What is happening here? But this is like, even when I was a loose natural, this has always been the thing. I've always had just tufts just hanging out in the front. Anyway, let's moisturize the shaft. I don't put the Amla oil on my shafts because the whole point of Amla is, like I said, the Ayurvedics be saying it's supposed to help with scalp treatment, it's supposed to help with premature gray, it's supposed to help with all sorts of stuff, supposedly. So I just save the Amla oil just for my actual scalp to moisturize my locks. Any old oil, but actually first I'm gonna put a little bit of aloe vera gel. This is diluted in water so that way it lasts a little bit more. It's not the type you can eat, the aloe vera gel that you can eat. It's not that grade. It's aloe vera gel that I buy off of Amazon that is specifically for hair, or hair and skin. So they do have some preserves. They do have some preserves. They do have some natural preservatives. That's what I'm trying to say in them. And there's also a little bit, just a smidge of peppermint oil in it. Just a smidge, like 2 drops, because peppermint oil is strong. It's strong. But I use this on the shafts just as, this is basically my conditioner. And I really like it because I like using aloe vera gel because it's water soluble. So the next time I shampoo, it'll come out of my hair. But then the next step, you're gonna be like, but you do this though. And I'm gonna be like, yeah. People are a paradox, deal with it. Anyway, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to sabbatical. I'm trying to give myself a chance to try. You know what I'm saying? And it's going well. Again, I've had to kind of check myself and make sure my purpose and intention of my sabbatical stays like front of mind. Something I've realized too, just in the first month of doing this, is that the other day I was thinking about, man, if money was of no consequence, you know? If I didn't have to worry about bills getting paid, you know, student loans getting handled, car payments, if I didn't have to adult, if you will. And for some reason, every month, the money to have a basic, like to maintain a standard of living was just in my account every month. What would I do with my life? Like, what would I do, you know? And it was fascinating because I did this scenario in my mind and I realized I would still do this. I really enjoy doing this. I really enjoy using my artistic skill and this film degree I got. Like, I really enjoy, this is my art, and I really enjoy figuring out ways to utilize my art to tell a story or to find purpose or to just express myself. Even if it is something as simple as sitting here and talking about stuff and moisturizing my hair. Like, I enjoy this, you know? And so it was like really like for me to just run that scenario in my head and realize, yeah, I would do this. Even if I had like absurd money and maybe I traveled too, I would still want to film it and document it and talk about it and bring y'all along with me. Like I said, I use aloe vera gel, water soluble, so that way it'll break down next time I wash my hair. And then I contradict that and I use an oil blend to seal it in. Judge me. So, and it's a basic oil blend. Like, I'm really down with apricot oil, grapeseed oil, really light oils that absorb into the hair, the skin quickly, and don't leave too much of a residue. And then, as y'all know, I only here down with the oil. But okay, so as we wrap, question: if money was of no consequence, and not even just like you rolling in the dough, you know, doing this, that, and the third extra, no, but just like your basic living expenses somehow are just met. You know what I'm saying? They're just handled every month. What would you do? And you've got like a little bit of disposable income, so you can actually enjoy your life too, right? Because it's one thing to have your basic expenses handled. It's another thing to have your basic expenses handled and a little bit of money to, go to the store. If that was happening for you, what would you do with your life? Like, would you completely pivot? You know what I'm saying? Would you just be doing something completely different than what you're doing? Or would you actually still be doing the same thing? I'm actually just really curious to know from y'all, because I feel like, first off, y'all are so amazing. I feel like y'all be coming out in the comments with just these truths, things that I just need to hear, and y'all be helping me out. Y'all be helping me work through some stuff. I really appreciate it. And so I'm curious to hear what y'all would think. Like, what would you do with your life if you didn't have to worry about money? For me, this feels like the right thing to use my sabbatical time for, because I'm already noticing that my cinematography is getting way better, just because I'm really giving myself the space and time to experiment, try new things. I'm shooting at 30 frames per second just to try it out. I can't decide if I like it yet. I might. I'm usually a 24 or a 23.98 person myself, because it feels more cinematic to me. But I just want to try something new. I never want to be afraid to try something new. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get too set in my ways, if you will. Something I will say about the Amla oil that I have noticed actually is that consistently putting it on my scalp, overall, my hair feels softer. And I know that usually for me, my hair's softness, brittleness can kind of fluctuate with my hormone shifts and all of that. Using the Amla oil, within about a week, I started noticing that overall, my hair is a lot softer. I put it on my scalp, but it's definitely working its way down a ways, and I really like that. So, if you've made it this far in the video, consider joining the Patreon, patreon.com/Hallease. There you get early access to videos, as well as private weekly vlogs from me on how my sabbatical is going, and everything else I'm doing in the background. And, like, share, subscribe, other such things. I'll see you when I see you.